Welcome. We are here to talk about the future of business and digital age. And it's a pleasure to welcome Katryna Dow of Miko for this series of talks. Katryna, welcome.
Thank you, Martin. How nice to be here in Berlin and to be back at something in person. And thank you for asking me to join you.
Thank you. And maybe you give a little bit of a background about yourself and your company before we start?
Sure. One of the great things is we have new language to describe what our company is about that we didn't have 8 years ago when we first launched Miko. And that is, we had this vision for enabling everyone to get equity and value in exchange for the data they share. Mm-hmm. So Miko provides tools to our partners, enterprise partners, to allow their customers to access, control, and exchange personal data. What we didn't understand when we started the company, that we do understand now, is how immersive identity data is to the value chain for anything in the digital world, for any kind of digital service. And so within the framework of the regulatory requirements in Europe, the post-COVID adoption of digital services, there's never been a time more necessary for giving those tools to customers to be able to participate in the digital economy, but also to have some control.
Okay, great. So when you think about tech innovation and the impact on the digital business, what is the number one tech innovation that comes to your mind?
So I think we probably hear a lot about it over the next few days, whether or not we say it's Web3 or it's the metaverse or the omniverse or this next evolution of digital. I think it's definitely in that realm of how immersive and pervasive digital is becoming. You know, whether or not it's because we're wearing something or there's something listening to us in our home. But the reason I think it's so significant is COVID has done a number of things that I think have changed the digital landscape. First of all, the adoption for children and the time they're spending already in the metaverse, in gaming, in exchanging tokens, in buying skins, in all of these capabilities that are in some ways priming them for decentralized finance. So we have children that are very competent in this realm. The other thing is that we have a whole generation of children that for 2 to 3 years were not able to be in a physical playground, but were sent to a digital playground. So what is that going to do in terms of forward customer trends? Will we be able to get those young people back out, or will it stay digital? And therefore, how will that evolve into the way you shape and design things for customers?
And what is then, if you look at it from a digital business perspective, what is the business value for organizations in investing in working on these technologies and adopting these technologies for their own business?
I think the challenge is going to be around UX experiences and also understanding the connectivity of those kinds of experiences. I think it'll be very difficult to design an experience for a customer if their experience in this virtual world is more enjoyable and entertaining, responsive. So I think some of the challenges ahead are, how do you create this great customer experience, these great customer touch points, but at the same time we know the big difference for an enterprise compared to somebody building a game are things around security, things around privacy management, things around risk management. So I think getting this balance will be a real challenge.
I could also imagine that it's in some area it's probably less than going into a totally different world, so to speak, like back in the day, Second Life.
Yeah.
Some might remember that. Yeah. But more about augmentation.
Yes.
And I think this is probably what will make a huge difference. And in some way, we are seeing more and more augmentation. In some vehicles, you see augmentation. You see it in many areas. You see that. I think this will probably, from a business perspective, be more the point.
It's the joining, Martin. I think you're absolutely right. I think we are obviously still physical and digital, and it's how these two worlds meet that I think is going to be where there's massive opportunity, but also there'll be some challenges associated.
What if a business says, I don't care about? What will happen to that business?
I think we can look at that question in a historical perspective. I can remember many years ago when I was trying to convince a board that we needed a website and we needed individual email addresses for everyone in the company. And I remember the board saying to me at the time, this is the most ridiculous concept. Why would we need a website? These websites already exist for other companies, and why would everyone need email?
I think we not even need to go that much back. I think a lot of companies have learned it the hard way. If you're delayed in your digital journey, and then COVID came, then this put you in trouble. I think this is the point, and even for us at KuppingerCole, we went way more hybrid in the things we are doing.
And I think this thing of Web 1, Web 2 are enough lessons for companies to realize they have to be accelerating that.
Where are we with metaverse and Web 3 and all these things today?
We're at the start of the start, but I think if you look at some industry sectors are growing faster than others. So we've already touched a little bit on gaming, decentralized finance. I read this week that I think it was around 30-something% of UK households have purchased cryptocurrency. I was really surprised at the number. So I think in some sectors we're already seeing an acceleration. But to your point, post-COVID, there are many service sectors that weren't even able to move from their bricks and mortar or their branch network of service into the digital realm. So they need to catch up into that delivery channel first before they can even start to think of what that evolution is. So I think there's a real accelerator towards that.
Okay. Katryna, thank you very much for your insights. And this will be a super interesting theme over the next couple of years. And as you said, it's probably at the start of the start. So I'm really also curious about where this is heading, where this is going. Thank you to everyone in the audience for listening to us. Hope to have you soon back at one of our other talks. Thank you.